period. This is a team that has not found a win just yet. They unfortunately had the dubious distinction of going 0-18 in spring, but it is a new day. And MFT, they've struggled mightily. I think this is an opportunity. We'll see if it is going to be enough. On the MFT side, they've got a lot of some power picks up on the solo lanes, I'll say, and the Viego always has pop-up potential. But how do you feel about these picks in the hands of their respective players, Nightstar?
Yeah, I think for MFT, these are picks that sort of just fit how their players like to play. You know, Wen is more of a utility player. He's definitely not a hard carry. So they want to use him, and especially in this softer mid lane matchup, you can just go for scaling and play for your side lanes. So I like this option here. Taco is on the big Gwen carry, and in this instance, it's really hard to see how they punish this Gwen pick. So it's going to be all about this bot lane, I feel, for the side of SEM9, and play through the mid lane, of course, as well with the Sejuani.
Absolutely. Well, we are on to the Rift for the first time tonight. We will want to keep our eye in that top lane matchup. That was the one that we featured in our head-to-head stats comparison. No name on the Gnar up against the side of Taco's Gwen, who's going for the Ghost as well. So not the Ignite all-in countering Gwen. It is going to be a little bit more aggressive, trying to chase things down. Curious to see if Wen can get that roam off. Yeah, I mean, I like that it's an Ornn versus a Sejuani, because they can both just kind of make their moves wherever they'd like to go. And I feel like for SEM9, a good strategy is going to try to funnel resources up top. For Jidodo and Philia, like, you're giving yourselves Lucian Nami. It's one of the best lanes you can get in the lane phase, even though you are up against an Ezreal and Karma, which is going to be a little hard to get the 2v2 kill on.
Yeah, the Karma helps out this lane quite a bit. And just allowing them to deal with the minion pressure that would normally come out from the Lucian Nami, being able to, hey, we push up, get level 2 very early, but against Karma, of course, she RQs the backline, and it helps you out considerably. So that's exactly what happens here. And yeah, while they are going to have kill pressure with this combination, it is hard to do when Karma is able to keep the lane state relatively even or push back against you.
Exactly. I feel like this is a pretty safe lane for Whale and Issue. You talked about comfort. You talked about how the team had built themselves a comp they can kind of just cruise into the late game with if SEM9 don't give them too much grief. But that is going to be on SEM9 to do. And I think one of the big parts of that is going to be Arashi. We're checking in on the jungler. Trundle has been a jungler we've seen have very high highs and very, very low lows. And it's going to be important to see how and where he gets involved.
Yeah. And most of the Trundle value will, of course, come through the fact that when Wen does go in, he'll be able to steal a bunch of stats. So the pick makes somewhat sense. The issue is, of course, the pillar really only has an impact on that Ornn. No one else is going to have too much issue, or at least from the carries, right? Because Gwen can just kind of sprint through it with the Ghost, and she's got a dash. And then, you know, the Viego can jump right over it as well. And Ezreal, we know what Ezreal does. He just kind of hop skips and a jump nonstop. So the Trundle pillar, which I would say is more emphasis on his utility, isn't going to be as helpful as you'd like.
Ooh, yeah, get spotted. There we go. Pretty safe. Meanwhile, Renhao getting involved down bottom. You gotta be careful. Ooh, heal. And Ignite already burned. That's gonna turn into a 3v2. Philia Jidodo had no idea that was coming.
Oh, that's
as his first and second blood. Big gold coming in for the MFT bot side. Meanwhile, in mid, they continue to tangle, but that should be the end of it.
Yeah, and then that was a really nicely executed kill. And for the side of MFT, they get those kills, but at the same time, like SEM9, like, you showed your jungler top lane. And then immediately you took the trade into that bottom half. That's just a big laning mistake. And when we talk about Felio, we talk more about, hey, he is able to create a little bit more during the lane phase, but unfortunately, they just didn't read the map well enough. And they get heavily punished for this. And like, this is a trade you would go for But unfortunately, like, Renhao's just there. And part of that is because you threw your Trundle topside.
Not only that, they'd already burned an Ignite and a heal, like, aggressively to try and get the play. Like, the Killer Instinct is one thing, but you have to be on the same page as your team. So very clearly, some issues there. Taco,
good stun.
Getting popped by No Name for a second. And he was on the edge of the mist. No Name gets the solo kill, but Renhao's looking for revenge as he throws down the Harrowed Path. Speed. No Name going to try to buy a little time, needs a hop, a skip, a jump, something.
Yep, he's waiting for the jump.
Flash as he tries to play for it. There we go, and burns it. And he's going to get away. Oh, No Name.
And that was really, really well done coming in from No Name. This is why, you know, we kind of highlighted the player. And this is also why SEM9 have focused a lot of their draft resources on making sure this player gets what he wants. So, great start for SEM9 up in the top side. And for Taco, that's really, really unfortunate because he loses a good chunk of experience, even though death timers are really short. He still lost a decent chunk of experience to that tower, and that means it's going to set him behind a little bit on that level 6 timing. So look for No Name to get level 6, go for Meganar, play really, really quickly.
Yeah, No Name doesn't actually spend his teleport to get back to lane either as the wave was pushed against him. He just ends up as, well, we'll talk about that in a second, as Philly is getting taken quite low in this one. Whale and Issue have been playing very aggressive since securing that first kill. So nicely done on there. Both bot laners actually having a kill in their column, accelerating their goal just a little bit as Renhao set them up for success. Meanwhile, speaking of Renhao, he's coming back to return once again. It will be a 3v3 though with the Trundle in the mix.
Trundle's here, yeah.
I think he sees that one. They're going to try to cut him off in the pass. This is the push. They actually turn immediately onto Arashi and find the kill just outside tower range before Ashin can get there. Well done by MFT.
Yeah, really well done there. Just MFT having an understanding that they could just go for this play yet again. And
good push.
This wave control has been a big issue. Shiododo and Felia, yes, you can look for trades, but after a certain point, even if Whale and Issue take a bad trade, all of a sudden they can just reset the lane very easily for them because they just RQ backline, and then you can't trade anymore because you have to fight minions.
Oh yeah. Right now, I don't think he saw that Red was in smiteable range. Might have been able to take it away, but doesn't, as he just sends a parting shot towards Arashi. And the focus does seem to be for SEM9 towards topside. They really should be. I think Arashi has been a little split as he was really just kind of caught farming and then tried to get involved and ended up getting himself caught. But it's a really good push effort from MFT's bot side. They've been able to get a massive lead in gold, plates, as well as kills. SEM9, win condition probably is going to be try to accelerate No Name here. As Renhao finds Ajin, forces the flash. They get the knock-up on the second cast there. It's going to be enough to do some damage, but Arashi's here. And they're going to try to turn their attention over to Wen once again, getting the stun knock off. Issue on the roam, though. That's going to force the flashes back defensively. Ajin has almost no mana and almost no health. Issue will finally finish him off with an auto attack of all things.
Yeah, and having level 6. Okay, up top.
All right, Taco's trying to cut No Name down to size, look for revenge, and he will get it. The Narbar was not quite there. Taco with the solo kill firing back. Now it's coming up MFT with a 2,500 gold lead across the board.
Immediately they strike back, and Taco showing why. Gwen still very, very powerful. And of course, even though Gnar is, you know, relatively solid all around, it's just so punishable in a lot of other phases. He does everything okay, nothing great. And here we see the difference between a level 6 Renhao and the level 5 Arashi. He's able to do so much work, but these are all kills if he's able to stay in line and with the EXP and be able to hit level 6. Unfortunately, I'm able to do so, and it's that extra little bit of edge and stats that make all the difference.
Yeah, Arashi does ding 6, but yeah, not having that subjugate really hurt last time around. Asian does join him for a little cheeky play at the Baron Pit, grabbing themselves the Rift Herald. So, able to make it happen. It was very close, and you could see the Sejuani Trundle synergy really paying off. They nearly got the kill. It actually took issue getting involved to turn the tide there for Meta Falcon team. So despite the gold lead of about 3,000, pretty hefty at this point in the game, SEM9, they're fighting, they're making plays, but they are losing ground here. Blue buff completely muscled away from them and getting denied. Ashin's not going to worry about that too much. It's a Sejuani mid, you don't really care, but Arashi having his jungle stolen does feel bad. And now Prio on the Drake pit does mean SEM9 are going to have a hard time getting involved to keep that Drake stack.
Yeah, the big thing...
Caught.
Oh.
It's going to be a lot of damage. They stack the CC. Spectral Maw landing. Ashin has no flash. Tries for the Arctic Assault, but they follow through as Renhao even getting a kill for himself. SEM9, they're just dropping way too fast.
They're not giving themselves a chance, and now...
Uh-oh.
Renhao's taking
the Sejuani. They're actually going to go very far, but wait! He just feeds the kill right back? Yeah. What was that?
That was definitely... the issue was he started tanking the tower way too early. He didn't wait for Wen to get the ult damage or R2 actually channeled through. So he takes 2 tower shots before they're even really ready to dive. And as a result...
I think I figured out. I think I figured out what happened, Night Star.
Okay.
Renhao bought his Divine Sunder. I think he just forgot that this wasn't ARAM.
Oh,
and that you actually can back.
I mean,
you just wanted to get a buy fast. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot faster way to fountain.
Indeed, it is. But now, you know, giving them a little bit of gold isn't actually going to make that much of a difference, right? Because there's such a stark difference in the mid lane and in this bottom lane. But more fighting. I think
Here
this
we
is
go.
a good
It's actually
SEM9 fight.
Here comes the wave. Issue taken low, burning down. They'll actually turn their attention over to Renhao as they manage to get the kill. Jidodo follows through for the finishers. Wen is getting involved now. These are such
oh my god, Whale.
Crazy fights. Whale just
Whale's untouched,
and he sends out the big true shot barrage. So the second wind effort goes in favor of MFT as Philia out of mana and out of time. Falls down. A double kill comes through for Wen as well. The cleanup effort is huge, and that's going to transition straight into the Drake.
And Jidodo just tunnels in on killing the Karma, and because of that he invests so many resources and cooldowns that he's unable to get away from the Ezreal afterwards. And this is a matchup that should be heavily Lucian favored. As we get to see the start of this, the numbers were in their advantage at the start for the side of SEM9, but they just get really split. Like he gets that kill, yes, but now he's like spending the entire time running away. Afterwards, that means Whale just gets to rejoin the fight and he's able to contribute. And that sort of makes all the difference in that instance. If he was able to zone them off and then turn for the rest of the fight, I think that would have looked a lot better, but the action just doesn't stop.
Okay, what's the issue?
The issue, well, you could say for SEM9, the issue is gone. Gone. Dead. Into the shadow.
This is a weird game. This has been, I have to say, this game has had some very questionable moments and calls from both teams, but you can't deny,
yes, that
is entertaining.
It is definitely been very entertaining. Unfortunately for the side of SEM9, they are still very down in gold. With the plug-in from Ashin, it does feel like their movements across the map have gotten a little bit better, which we didn't exactly see before, but when he wants to fight.
Yep. As the wave, though, it's only going to stop Renhao for just a sec. The bubble dodged out. No Name going to come and join the fray here as the True Shot Barrage clips a couple members. That was actually first brick, though, off the Herald drop for SEM9. Surprising, given everything that's happened. Whale is going to answer back as he was completely uncontested down bot. Whale is starting to stack up a lot of kills, but let's take a look at what caused issue to bite the big one. Hubris. The answer was hubris.
This is a little bit far from home.
Great
far from home and by himself. So that was all around really bad. But now you look at Whale, he just got himself a full solo tower gold right down in that bottom lane. So he's got a lot of money to play with. Yeah, he's very close to finishing his Manamune into the Muramana transformation. And on the flip side, yes, Jidodo does now have the Gale Force, but he's a little bit slow on the curve here.
he's not gonna have nearly as much value in the late game, right? I mean, I think SEM9 are gonna depend very heavily on like just layering CC, getting a big Gnar ultimate, like. But Gnar is not gonna be your main damage dealer, right? So, I mean, maybe he is in this comp, but that's a problem in and of
He
itself.
almost has to be here.
Yeah,
of course
MFT. We talked about how they have a scaling comp, and they're scaling pretty fast.
Yup. And okay, making a play here. Pillar has to be good. It is.
All right, good knockup. They do force the flash out. Narbar incoming. So they have the damage in time. They do get the Gnar against the wall, but not on the same page.
Beautiful.
As Arashi running. Look at all those tower shots he tanked. No Name's still getting involved, but I think they're running out of time here. And yeah, Arashi says, no, bro, we don't got this. Meanwhile, push onto the mid to get the stun off onto Arashi. Yeah, that was a good second effort from MFT, and SEM9 just pushing their luck.
It was a nice attempt. Unfortunately, you're trying to gank Gnar, and if you're trying to CC him, the problem is he can immune that very, very easily. And he times it perfectly. They will go for a return visit.
You got Taco. Look at the level differential, though, between him and Arashi at the moment, and Ajin. So Gwen can't quite hop the wall. Good deny on the pillar. They will get kill credit back as this game just continues to be bonkers. Ojidodo nearly bites it as well. 16 kills in just under 16 minutes, Nightstar. We have got ourselves a full PCS. Well, it's not an ARAM, but it's an all-over-the-map RAM.
Yeah. It's a Fiesta.
Fiesta Resistance for sure. This is very exciting, but a big lead still for MFT, including the scaling battle. They will be able to get the tower in mid and keep on rolling. But yeah, I don't know how this will end because neither team have decided to back down from any challenge.
Yeah, and so this feels very, Spring Split-esque, right? Where we're having a lot of these skirmishes set up rather than the full-blown team fight. And MFT, of course, this is a much more battle-tested squad. It's really, really showing in this instance. They get the stop onto Whale's back, which is actually relatively important because now Whale, he has to go recall, but Dragon's about to spawn in 5 seconds, so SEM9, they have priority on this piece of ground, so they're going to get first dibs onto the Dragon. Now, for the side of MFT, are they able to stall?
Yeah, Taco looking for the flank right now. They might be able to find this. It is technically 4v5 as No Name is yet to get involved. Here comes the call to Forge God as Taco trying to chase on Dragon, all but forgotten.
Find a lot of time.
Cut somebody down, but no, right now opens up with the first fire. You can see Taco just doing so much work as the rest of SEM9 scatter, and the Dragon doesn't even fully reset as they take it down. Nicely done. Taco going to run face first in to Ashin, who was just lucky enough to get away before he got taken down again. Taco has been frontlining exceptionally well this game.
He's been really putting himself out there. Did get picked off, once in that bottom lane, and then once up in that top side early on. But that first team fight does very, very well. And of course, this is exactly what Gwen brings to the table. And the issue for SEM9 was, while the thought was there, right? We stopped the back of Whale. That means they don't have their really, really strong AD carry for this Dragon fight. The issue was their top laner wasn't quite there. So this ends up being a 4v4. And
yeah, what's No Name doing? He's like, he's out in space at the moment. He doesn't
No
even get
Name's
here
out
until
in
the
no
fight's
man's
over.
land, and the issue or the problem is he doesn't have Mega Gnar ready as well. So just unfortunately, No Name with his Gnar timing just didn't line up with what the rest of his squad wanted to do. And this is the other issue of Gnar, is that it feels like sometimes these fights have to be just so perfect for Gnar to actually have an impact, because he has to get there in time, has to have Gnar lined up, and then the other team also has to play into his Mega Gnar. And in that situation, really none of those situations line up.
Yeah, it feels like what we're seeing from SEM9 right now is just a bit of communication problem. So we know they've made a couple of changes on the roster as well, but this is a squad that I think we expect a little bit more from in that regard. Like they seem to at least be trying some things, but the execution level has been falling off. Yes, it's still a winless squad. Yes, they're at the bottom of the table, but I think they've gotten a little lost in the sauce, and that's part of the problem in MFT. now that they kind of have the tempo advantage, not to mention the fact that they scale infinitely better, it kind of feels like they can just do whatever they want on the map.
For the side of SEM9 now, the only way to get back into this is find some sort of play around this Gnar. Maybe he is able to. I think he's going for Black Cleaver for his next
I gotta
item.
find it fast.
But yeah, this is going to be a crash onto the tier 3 and some good damage. Unfortunately, not able to take it down because they don't have, you know, great ability to just auto that tower. That's the nice thing about the SEM9 composition is it does bring a decent amount of CC.
That's true. If they can layer it, if they can get the 5v5, if they can improve that coordination, there is maybe a chance they can do it. But now at the 20-minute mark, we're starting to get into the late game. It's a massive gold advantage. Oh boy. About 6.5K ahead of SEM9. Not to mention the Dragon Stack building. It will be a Cloud Rift, of course. And look at who hasn't died in this game yet. It's the Ezreal and the Ornn. The Ornn is fed.
The Ornn is very, very fed, which is yet another problem. Usually you don't talk about, hey, fed Ornn being able to carry game, but here, with how strong he is, yes, you do have that Trundle ultimate to help cut down some of those resistances. Ooh, that's a whiff.
Glacial Prism does
that's
not
gonna
land.
get turned.
Sin taken down.
All right.
Half his hit points. The rest of the team does arrive. True Shot Barrage gonna clip. I mean, that was a numbers advantage for SEM9, so MFT don't quite push too far.
Yep.
Ooh, Taco going back to the buy. Just get himself a Nashor's Tooth.
Big purchase there as well for him. And SEM9. You gotta appreciate that they are fishing for these plays, right? That Ashin on this Sejuani is able to at least go for some of these Hail Marys. Unfortunately, he is very, very far behind, and when it comes to these team fights, he's not going to be a large value without his ultimate.
Okay, they land a bubble onto Wen as he was stuck in the back of Baron Pit, and this is going to give MFT pause. They
going to
peel
reset
off. Yeah, reset the Baron. So win for SEM9. But they stopped that with minimal investment. It was just more or less just Shidodo's ultimate.
So that's a nice little play, being able to stall things out. But again, MFT aren't in a hurry. They definitely are very comfortable with this spot in the game, and Whale is very comfortable just playing very far forward. Even though, if you ever expose your Ezreal 1v1 with an Ignite Lucian, I would say as long as they're matching items, and maybe if Ezreal's only half an item ahead, I would still give the advantage towards the Lucian in the 1v1. But in these team fights, that Lucian's losing a lot of his effectiveness.
Yeah, and Whale has done really good at positioning this game. I do think when I talked about Shidodo and Felia maybe being able to give them some trouble, I think we really underestimated Whale on this Ezreal. You know, they played a relatively safe and pokey lane. I think Issue has been very aggressive on the Karma, and it's worked out for them. But this is an Ezreal that has never really been under major threat, and he's been able to get gold funneled into him in the form of plates and also a handful of kills. So he has been ahead for the most part, and it's been on Shidodo to try and catch up. The rookie bot lane has not really been able to have the same level of impact. On the opposite side of the map, No Name, you know, we're looking for that win condition. The Black Cleaver complete, picks up another Phage as well. But when the Gnar is dishing out the majority of your damage, it is somewhat concerning. There's always the possibility, there's always the upside, but I don't think they can afford to have him separate from the team for as long as they did at that Dragon Pit. Like, he's got to spend those teleports faster, or he's got to be with the squad.
Yeah, so I think with SEM9, the issue right now, or the issue with this game in the draft phase, again, feels like they were a little bit too transparent with how they wanted to play the game. The early Sejuani, while it could have been a flex pick, or you know, it showed up as a flex pick, I think both sides knew, you know, this was going into the hand of Ashin. He's a support moving into the mid lane. Don't give him anything too tricky. But now SEM9, can they find a miracle?
They would need it for the steal right now. It's 3v4. Taco jumping the wall to keep eyes on Arashi as the pillar does come down. They're going to try to wrap around here and distract, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off here. Shidodo's come through. They catch Wen on the side, but that Baron's getting very low to about 3,000 hit points. Here's the teleport. They're going to
they're resetting
MFT
it
off,
again.
and maybe they can take the fight. The Baron is resetting, and No Name keeps it aggroed right now. Maybe they can turn for this as the Narbar is incoming. The back is not yet completed for Taco. He does have access to the teleport should he need it. This is the chance. SEM9, they realize they have an opportunity. Bubble comes down. Arashi
Here's a
is
flip.
so low, needs to smite. Does take it, and here goes Renau. Is going to get at least one reset. No Name buying a little bit of time, and the rest of the team has decided to sacrifice both Shidodo and No Name. They get out with 3 members on the Baron.
And they managed to yoink one back right there. They get themselves 2 big objective bounties. They get the turret bounty down in that bot lane. But of course, these objective or monster objective bounties are even larger, and they're able to secure that one. That bounces the gold quite a bit back. It's not quite enough to overcome this lead right now, but it's definitely a start. We get to see the replay, they get vision, and then they go ahead, channel in that teleport right when the ward goes over the wall. They know they are kind of getting sectioned out, but for MFT, there's not enough focus. They are a little bit indecisive on what they want to do. They want to try and chip Arashi down on the side, but they also want to try and focus down the Baron a little bit. But I mean, the attention's just way too split. However, the reset onto the fight, while SEM9 do get the objective, and that was their clear goal, right? You're sending members all across the board to try and act as distraction. As a result, the resulting fight is just very easily won by MFT because they have the full health bars coming in from the teleport return from Taco, and now they're the ones pushing in against the Baron buff.
They are. No Name about to hit that Meganar, though. Does dodge a fair bit of CC. Here comes the Nami wave, and it's going to be split away as the call the Forge Gut comes through. Wen gets stunned up, does manage to send it right on back despite that.
He's so tanky.
The fight is on.
He's so tanky.
Wen just gets a big old knock up into Taco, and Renau finding the damage on the opposite side, but it's turning. It's a big old bruiser fest here in the mid lane, and Shidodo getting yoinked in, flashing away. It's all a bait. It's all calculated. Wen so low, but he gets out of it. I can't believe nobody dies.
Oh my god, Shidodo almost makes a big play. Renhao.
Heartbreaker, and it was a heartbreak as Renhao gets popped up. Not quite
so
going
close.
down from the Ardent Blaze, though. And man, MFT, they just get out by the skin of their teeth. But this is SEM9 finding an opportunity to find the fight. That Baron buff certainly putting some value in not letting MFT push this too deep.
Yeah, really, really important there. They took that fight with some of those Baron minions helping them out. Adding a little bit extra damage, and the Baron buff stats helping as well. So SEM9 still putting up a struggle, and it is able to stick just a little bit. We do need them to actually be able to find a pick, and that's the big issue. That's Karma, Ezreal.
The front line's huge here.
Very, very hard to pick off, and Wen is just insanely tanky. Look at those items. He's got so much armor stacked up, and once he finishes his tier item, he's going to be even more difficult to take down. As pulling the dragon,
he's shredded.
I don't think they're in 9.
No, they're definitely not right now. Here comes the call of the Forge God. It's going to not really go the direction they wanted, but
Shidodo's so
SEM9 realize there's no prize to take here, and No Name is running out of Narvar. Shidodo completely out, and oh no, Asin! He goes the wrong way, and he gets gifted to Whale. Oh boy, that is soul.
He distracted
for MFT.
He sacrifices himself to keep the rest of his team alive. I think the rest of the team definitely would have died if he didn't split off. So it's a relatively worthwhile trade, but MFT, they got what they came for, right? The Sejuani pick afterwards is really just a cherry on top. The main objective was just secure that Dragon Soul, and they've done it. Cloud Soul going to be making things even more frustrating for the side of SEM9, because now the slow coming in from the pillar isn't going to be as effective, and the extra move speed is also allowing them to kite things out against things like the Nami passive, giving extra move speed there. And now Renhao will say hello to Arashi, but again, Arashi with this Trundle pick isn't able to pick off people anymore. because of how much mobility is on, and now they want to fight.
Yeah, speaking of picking off, look at Taco with the flank side
Goodbye,
right now.
Philly.
Philia just gets deleted off the map. Taco still on the chase and trying to give Arashi a little bit more than a haircut. Forces the flash away, and with the knockup, they will be able to secure the next kill, and they keep on chasing. Wen just does not care about turret damage, and the rest of his team isn't too fussed either. No Name is pushing tier 2 in the bot, but he's missed the memo that his entire team has died.
No way from home.
Yeah, that's two movies in one apparently.
Yeah.
But I think this one we're going to see the credits pretty soon. Nightstar MFT are looking to push this in for the win, looking for a number 2 on the board. No Name is up, but he's out of Narbar.
Yep.
And Philly is back up as well. And this is going to be the tower cut through so much damage at the 30-minute mark, and they just can't do anything but watch it go goodbye. As they just chase them away, don't even need the kills. His issue flashes away, trying to keep his KDA a little bit better.
Save the KDAs!
That's gonna be lights out. 30 minutes on the clock. Meta Falcon team take the victory.